just say 2 kids, what do you think the first thing I think is?
You're irresponsible.
Well, no, not only that, but future-wise. If I'm thinking about the future with this person, because they strike me as somebody I might have a future with, I'm thinking child support. Now, you imagine dating that person with them 8 kids. Do you really, really think that you would marry them? Probably not. I mean, could you imagine?
Well, because we live in the wonderful state of California, and community property is community property. So once you marry that individual, those are no longer his kids; those are now our kids.
That's why they.
So when he pays child support, guess what, sweetie? You pay child support as well.
Yeah, especially when you marry him.
Won't be happening.
So that's an interesting thing. I think that's something that guys need to talk about amongst each other.
Well, I have a little situation that I want to talk about. This is actually the flip side. This happened to a male friend of mine, and his, I guess his baby mama being whatever we want to call her, called a friend of his that lived, let's say this friend lived, I don't know, 2,000 miles away. She called this friend and accused this friend of dating her boyfriend. Now, I'm not the brightest bear, but I would think that if you're dating someone, you would need to be a little closer to 2,000 miles
to date.
Yeah.
Especially
Especially when you only visit maybe once a year. I don't think that would be dating. What about you?
No.
But the red flag was she was actually the person who was doing the cheating. But her own securities caused her to accuse her boyfriend of cheating. Red flag.
And people do really do that. When they're always constantly accusing you, like they say, they're probably doing something themselves to deflect everything off of them onto you. That's what they do. Now, we have another comment that was left today. He doesn't give a red flag is he doesn't give you a label. That's also in the Steve Harvey book. He doesn't give you the label. You're introduced. Say you've been dating him 6 months, and you're still introduced as my friend Shemaine. You're probably not that important. Not really, because usually a guy who wants you and wants to be with you has no problem giving you a title.
Well, then I wonder how does Thomas introduce Sarah? Oh, he doesn't. Red flag.
Red flag. Now we have another one. One of our viewers said that when he doesn't want you to meet his family, always has excuses for you not to meet his family. He's comfortable in the relationship and doesn't want to establish it further. Now, it's one of those. I think it's one of those guys that says that stupid things like, "You've been dating for 6+ months," and they say, "I'm not really into the title thing." Okay. And some girls are like, "I can sit around with him to give me a title because maybe he needs to think about it." No, I don't personally think so. I think within 6 months, if you want to be with somebody. Within the first, let's say 90 days. If you're giving them.
Well, it depends, especially if you're spending, ample time with this individual.
Especially on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are going out 2, 3, 4 times a week, and you're hanging out, you're sharing mutual friends or what have you, why not label, especially if you're exclusive.
Right.
If you're just dating and you're dating other people, then no, there's no need to have a title. But if you guys are, being monogamous and dating, then sounds like you're pretty much well on your way of being a couple. So why not just put that label on it?
That's true. Now, on the flip side of that, the flip side is plenty of guys take random chicks around their families.
Oops.
Seriously. So, and a lot of, we talked about this in another episode before, females will feel special if they are brought around the family. Some females. But this day and age, that's kind of typical. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be like that because men who really respect their mom, to me, do not bring random women around. They bring women who are important, who they have a future with. You agree?
Yes, I do agree, but I don't feel like a lot of guys follow that same creed. Although I do know, being, Southern raised, that is still typically, most guys still do that. But, I mean, it's slipping away. That tradition is slipping away. Getting to the point where the mama does, I mean, you kind of have to forewarn mom and dad before somebody comes over, don't say this name because that's not who I'm bringing. And I just think it makes it a bad situation because you're pulling your family into this. And what if grandma walks out of the room and hey, Sarah,
Dre's here today.
I just think it's so much easier and so much, it's just simple to Just be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your people you're dating. If you're not ready for a relationship, then don't commit to a relationship.
That's right.
Just, be you. Just date. Let other people know that that's what you're doing. You're not looking for anything serious.
And I think that it's unfortunate with the red flag situations, period, especially with females, because when you run into so many of them, you start to just, not to say you're jaded, because, we know that everyone's not the same, blah, blah. You have to trust somebody till they prove you wrong. But you still start to think, gosh, if 8 out of the last 10 I ran into, just dating, not even in a relationship, have posed all these red flags, well, what am I going to keep running into? And me and my friend, we were talking the other day, we think it's something in the water.
I don't know. That's why
I don't know. It's either
being selective about my bottle water, because it's getting ridiculous.
I'm thinking I'm about to start having my water imported from the South. I heard they treat their water good.
It's sweet.
It's sweet and good out there in the South.
But you're going to have these type of problems everywhere you go, ladies and gentlemen. Another thing I want to bring up is, we laugh and we joke and we put these topics out here and we have great discussions on them. But one of the main things that I want to focus on getting across is the fact that a lot of these situations that we talk to you about are serious. And just with the red flag, lies on top of lies on top of lies. Lies can be very
more lies to cover more lies.
Lies can be extremely dangerous, especially with our young black women and men having some of the leading new cases of HIV and AIDS.
That's right.
These lies are not worth your life.
Yep.
It's so much easier just to say, I'm not willing to be monogamous.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to stop doing this, this, and this. Therefore, the person that you're dealing with has the option to move forward because maybe they don't want to risk their lives like that. Because I'm looking at that as you're putting yourself on the line when you're dealing with someone who is willingly just out there. It's not safe.
Right. And the sad thing is that many of these red flags are overlooked. So a lot of people end up being in these 3-4 year relationships, even 20-year relationships. And once they get out of them and they really separate themselves from those relationships, they start to see all these red flags that were so blatant that they just missed. That maybe they were naive or whatever the reason may be. No one's perfect. Sometimes we want to overlook things because we feel it's not that important. But when you break up with that person and you get that space to really, really think about it, you start to put things into perspective and you're thinking, wow. And you can't help but feel sometimes that you've wasted your life with someone. And
another red flag. You've been living together for 5 years. You have 3 kids, no ring. He could die today or tomorrow. You have no legal ties. Red flag. I'm not understanding if I'm good enough to be the mother of your children. I'm good enough to, help you pay bills. I'm good enough. We're living the married life. We just don't have it on paper. Why? That's a red flag. Because if you weren't ready to commit, why do we have 3 kids? Why are we living together? Why are we even in a relationship?
3 kids, that's 18 years. So you think about the fact that you're going to be dealing with that person forever anyway. So as a female, I think that falls on males and females because as a female, you have to know, like, I'm over here having a kid with this guy. I'm having my second one, having my third one, having my fourth one, and we have no full commitment. No, marriage doesn't solve everything. Look at the divorce rate. But it just doesn't make sense to me.
Also, look at the number of illegitimate kids that are, born out of wedlock.
There are plenty of them. There are so many of them. And a lot of people, we're like we said, we're not down talking no one. We're just kind of stating the facts because they are facts, and they may not be your facts, but they are facts, in this world today. Mm-hmm. So it's just unfortunate. I think that people just think that that's okay. Unfortunately, it's just not really. I don't know.
So what we're going to do here is we want to continue with this discussion, but we're running out of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to send you over to our website, Causing a Stir.
Which is facebook.com/causing-a-stir, the words cause, the letter N, the letter A, and the word stir. If you could please go to our Facebook, we will add you as a friend. You can post comments under our notes section. If you feel that you have a great topic, please let us know. We'd love to have a guest on our show. We look forward to having a few guests in the future, but if you think that you have something to bring to our show, we are more than happy to have you. We also will have a Twitter up soon, as soon as possible, but you can always, just message us anything, any questions, any comments, and we will definitely have this show again because I think I have enough to write a book.
Yeah, so, I'm already working on my first book.
You want a chapter in my book?